Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanchez and Jim Jonas. Today we have Mitchell Tracy, candidate for Clark County Treasurer. And let me tell you something about this treasurer, because the person that was running it for 20 years never even had an opponent. And think Ron Q decided to run for it, well, about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
Before that, it was unopposed. You never heard anything about Clark County Treasurer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be like the public administrator's office. Who knows?
Well, yeah, actually, that's what I was going to say. I don't have much of a rant other than the fact that, it's interesting for years. Well, Steve, you ran for public administrator back in 2010.
Twice.
And
everybody said, what's the public administrator?
Yeah,
Nobody knew what it was.
No one knew anything about it.
Now everybody knows what the public administrator is.
Now all of a sudden, public administrator, whether you're the current, soon to be former, or running,
or the past, they went all the way back to John Cahill.
Now all of a sudden, so it's interesting that people were. Well, actually, it's not interesting. Actually, to be serious for a second, it's actually sad that people are not paying attention to public administrator. They're not paying attention to Clark County Treasurer. They're not paying attention to some of these offices until the media finally
decides to do a story.
Yeah, gets off their butts and decides to do a story, and then they never even do it unless it's something horrific. This whole Robert Tellis thing, that's so sad that had to occur for the public administrator's office to be brought into the light now. So just to all the viewers and listeners, seriously, and we're going to get to our guest that's running for Clark County Treasurer. These offices are very important, and they mean a lot they actually impact your lives a lot more than people realize, and that's what we're going to get into.
And you know something, speaking of that, and we did an article on this.
Yeah.
Robert Tellis, I'm just going to be part of my rant, right?
Right.
Robert Tellis committed domestic violence back in 2020.
Yeah.
And his wife was saying that he wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
And they had a full body camera of the whole thing. Can't even make it up, right? But yet, nothing, not a peep, nothing from the media about Robert Tellis' domestic violence, and he's a public official. Nothing about him. Absolutely nothing about him, media. They covered it up. They failed to report it because I could almost guarantee if they was to mention it and did a story on it when it happened, somebody would have called Tellis up and say, hey, buddy, I don't think you should run. We're going to appoint so-and-so to run in your place because you got this domestic violence on your record and the voters are not going to vote for you. So you should not do anything about it, right? You should not run. But yet, in 2010, remember, I dropped my gun.
Yep.
Now, I wasn't a candidate. I wasn't an elected official. I didn't work for any public entity at all. But yet, I was on the front page. So I'm saying, what the heck? So the media is being used as a pawn, as a tool to go after people that they don't like and cover up for people that they do like. And it's disgusting and it's not news at all. It's the media is just a tool for certain players that are in the political world. And that's all it is. It's not like the news of the 70s, of the 80s, of the 90s. It's all propaganda now. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump. But one thing he was right about, the media is propaganda. And it's so sad that it is because this is a public official that committed a misdemeanor. I don't know, it was a misdemeanor of domestic violence, full body cam of the whole thing, and nobody reported it. And this is the guy that we, the people, elect to office. But somebody that has nothing to do with anything, right, gets on the front page because he dropped his gun. I just don't understand the concept behind it, media. And the RJ is the one that did the story on me, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it speaks to a bigger narrative, and I'm glad because we talked about this yesterday a little bit, right? So here's the thing: like the media picks and chooses who they like and they don't like, and who they're gonna and what story they're gonna make a big deal of, and which story they're not gonna make a big deal of. With the domestic violence, they decided, well, we're not gonna make a big deal of it.
He's a public official,
right? But he's an okay guy, blah blah blah. Now you. In 2010, like everybody's like, oh, we got to make a big deal out of this because this guy points stuff out that we don't want pointed out. Okay? So they decided they wanted to make that a big deal. Okay? And that's exactly what Donald Trump was talking about. And and honestly, and I hate to go this far, but I'm going to anyway, I really think that if the media would have pointed out the domestic violence thing.
When it happened.
Not
this year because he killed Jeff German.
When it happened. And maybe then Jeff German wouldn't have felt compelled to dig even deeper into him because Jeff German, was an investigative journalist, God rest his soul, that was always going after the truth. Who knows? Maybe Jeff German wouldn't be deceased right now, and Robert Tellis wouldn't be locked up.
Yeah. But because the media failed us, that's exactly what happened. I mean, look at all the evidence we gave the media about Matthew Harder, who committed bankruptcy fraud, mortgage fraud, and perjury. And he's a sitting judge, but yet not even a peep out of them. Yeah. So I don't trust the media anymore. You guys suck. Go to the Veterans in Politics talk show. We'll tell you the truth what's going on. And here we have Mitchell Tracy, candidate for Clark County Treasurer. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Steve.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm...
He's like scared now. I was like, what the heck's going on?
No, just had a birthday this month. Doing well that.
Happy birthday to you.
Forced retirement back in 2018 after 17 years with the same company. Okay. So I did 22 years of claims, 10 years military, 10 years of high school.
Thank you for your service. What branch?
Thank you. I was in the Army Reserve, Air National Guard, Air Force Reserve.
Were you confused? Army Reserve, National Guard?
No.
Air Force Reserve?
It was over different years, different times, different things opened up for me. So I switched services back in the early 80s.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, because rank, there's certain positions, and if you level out there, if nothing opens, a slot doesn't open. Right. If there's something that opens up in a different service that you can get a higher rank, that's what I did. Okay. So I changed jobs.
So which one was first?
Our Army Reserve, Air National Guard, Air Force Reserve. They were both together because that unit had both. I don't know why both the same serving the same time together. Okay. So then my Army National Guard was until 2003, 2006. Okay. So then I have 10 years of high school and junior high school basketball in California. Okay. Saddleback High School, Westminster High School. So I served there, assistant coaches and head coaches.
I got two questions for you.
Yes, sir.
Right off the bat. I got more, but two right off the bat. Since you're running for Clark County Treasurer, first question, why are you running for this office? Second question, what makes you qualified?
Why am I running? Because it has to do with money. And I've always got, I love money. But I want to see where the money's going. When you get your property tax bill, you look at all those different things your money's going to. But what else is it going to? So the treasurer, they're like the bank for the county, all the departments. So when like the clerk gets money, they'll deposit it. It'll show up, you credit to their account in the treasurer's office. And when they make purchases, your check is issued. Treasurer's signature's on that check. So as a treasurer, I'm going to see where the money's coming, where the money's going, because people always wonder, well, isn't Clark County, rich? Don't they have a lot of money? They always want more money, this and that. As treasurer, I can see where all this money's coming, where it's going, why is it going there? I'll be able to find all those questions. Another reason why is they have a $7 billion investment fund. $7 billion investment fund. It's supposed to be run by the treasurer, but they outsourced it. And they get anywhere from $6 to $12 million a month on interest.
Okay.
And that interest goes to government agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. If the treasurers, that's one of their sole responsibilities, is to manage that fund and control that fund and be responsible for that fund. Why are they giving all that money back to different agencies and so forth if they're already included in the budget? It's like extra money. So what I want to do as a treasurer is I want to take that away, reinvest that money, roll it over at the end of the year. I'm going to issue a check to all residents. I'm going to take the registered voters list. I'm going to take the property owners list. I'm going to go through registered voters list. Of course, they're not going to do the job. I'm going to clean out all the fraud, everything like that. Take the owners, take out all the government agencies out of the property owners, mesh them together, take out the duplicates, and that would be my leftover that's going to issue checks.
What makes you qualified?
What makes me qualified is, that's a good question, is I've done 22 years of auto claims, commercial claim, property claims, injury claims, fatality claims. So I don't know if anyone explained to you in claims, when the claim happens, you open up the claim, reserves are set. And you have to reserve that's by law. So let's say if I have 4 cars, one's a Mercedes-Benz or whatever, they're open at an average of like $4,000 or maybe $10,000 for autos. But if I know I have a Mercedes-Benz and there's probably $50,000, I got to go in there and raise those reserves up for each of the individual cars, what I think what's going to happen to those. And if there's injuries, there's a certain injury level set. Once you open the injury, which is bodily injury, you open that, reserves automatically set. But depending on how bad the accident is, in my experience, I got to go control all these reserves. And I got to find out what the policy is and how much money is available. So I got to pay attention. So I don't, if it's damages, there's so much money you can pay for damages. So you can't go above that. So you got to pay attention. If those 4 cars are going to go above that damage, I can't repair those cars, unfortunately. So I got to work with those 4 companies and so forth. So I'm dealing with all this money. Bills are coming in, medical payment bills sometimes, because I have medical payments. I got to go through those, make sure they're right, necessary, and reasonable. I got to pay those medical bills. I have so much time. So I'm dealing with all these different claims, all these different stuff. So that's like the treasurer, because you're dealing with all those different aspects of the departments, of the money coming in, the money going out. So my signature was, I could sign almost up to $30,000, my own signature, as an auto claim. Anything above that, I go to my manager. The big ones that we deal with, that I negotiated with, like $1 million or $2 million of injuries, that would go to our regional manager, which I would have to present to my manager. My manager would make sure I have everything done. Then we'd go together to the general manager, and he would sign off. Then I would issue the check, because he would bring those reserves up to the whatever needed, $1 million, $2 million, whatever we had to pay for that. He would set the reserves, put his in, okay, and then I could issue the check for that. So I have a lot of experience not issuing checks, money coming in, money going out. I even collected money, which they call subrogation, which that's what part of the treasurer's office does, is they collect the property tax and just make sure it's distributed and credited to the different, like I said, on their property tax bill. So subrogation is, I would get our accident, which our person is, their car was damaged. I would get all the bills together for repairs and rental, and I would send it to the insurance company. Here's all our damages. Here's our bill. You're at fault. Please send that money back. So I also did subrogation, collection of money. So because the main thing of the treasurer's office is they're responsible to collect the property tax and distribute it. They're also responsible for the collection of SIDs, street improvement districts. And what street improvement districts is, the builders go out and build a new subdivision or division or whatever. A lot of times they don't have the money for the sidewalks, the sewers, water, or whatever else they need to do that they're responsible for. And what happened, the county comes in and they issue bonds. Then they'll take that subdivision, and how much money they spent is divided among those owners, and those people pay back. Once they get the money back, they pay off those bonds, and that's it. So they're responsible for that too.
So what's the job description of the treasurer?
Job description is, he mostly oversees all the revenue, income, and it's like a bank. Like I said, he's responsible to make sure every month, everything that comes in is tallied, make sure the checks go out, make sure the accounts are maintaining, make sure deposits are made, make sure people get credited for their deposits, because sometimes you don't want them to be late. So they do what they call VR through their phone. They get charged for that. They have kiosks there. So he oversees all the operations, all the revenue and the expenses of the county. So he's got to do reports, monthly reports, daily reports. He's got to also manage the $7 billion investment fund. Mm-hmm.
So what's do you know the revenue of the county, of Clark County?
No, I don't know the exact revenue.
What is the budget of the treasurer?
What's the budget of treasurer? That I don't know. Budget of the county is $1.53 billion.
Okay.
Yeah. The treasurer, they make their own budget. Every year, the treasurer will make their budget.
Do you know what the budget is?
I don't know what the budget is.
Do you know how many employees?
The employees run depending on if some are out or they need to replace, anywhere from 40 to 50 employees. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is there a satellite office besides the Clark County?
There's no satellite office. They have some kiosks in there, mm-hmm. and also the IVR, the voice recognition, for your phone, hello, you call whatever, enter whatever, and you can pay but they charge 2.19%. Mm-hmm. A funny thing is about that, they used to be with a bank that charged them less. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they switched banks to charge more. Now they charge more. They have kiosks. Mm-hmm. What I want to also do is develop an app. Apps aren't that expensive. Why can't there be an app for a phone? There's apps for everything.
Have you developed an app before?
No. Okay. No. I know people have. So yeah, we develop an app so they can pay on the app, no charge. Mm-hmm. They'll love that. So you figure 2.19% of 3,000, 2,000, whatever they're paying, that's expensive. Mm-hmm. So we'll get rid of that. So they'll have an app. And more people will be able to do that, and they won't have to come down and use the kiosk, because there's also a front counter they come and pay.
Do you know what bills the treasurer's office pays?
They pay, everything gets paid treasurer's office.
What? Examples?
The county clerk, Metro, they pay their own, but my signature's on it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, pay everything, and we get it. What they pay shows up on their statement. We know what they paid. We know what they paid. We know what they came in. For the clerk, whatever happens in the whole county, everything comes mm-hmm. through us. The assessor's office, how they assess things. They're working on a new computer system, because right now they have 3 computer systems, and none of it communicates with the assessors. Mm-hmm. So how they do the billing is they send them a sheet, and then they got to upload everything into the system, the treasurer's office. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have systems to be able to communicate to each other, so they can eliminate all that work.
You mentioned earlier that the treasurers get tax revenues.
Yes.
Do you know what taxes that go right to the treasurer's office?
Oh, it goes through, a lot of it goes through, you got the property tax, you have the sales tax, mm-hmm. you have the gasoline tax. Mm-hmm. Those go through. You have the business licenses, because the business license department, they'll get the money. What happens is they'll deposit, or sometimes they send it to us, deposit it electronically. But anyone that makes a deposit, we'll show a deposit coming in. We're like the bank. It goes in their account. We know what's in there. Mm-hmm. And like they make an expense, they'll issue an expense, and my name will be on the check, and they'll go out and they'll show on their account. It's like a big bank for all the other departments.
Who's the treasurer now?
Treasurers, I know who it is, but she hasn't been in the office in 2.5 years. Laura Fitzpatrick. She's assigned the assistant treasurer. My opponent, he's the one in charge. He's been running the office for about 2.5 years.
So Fitzpatrick, she hasn't had an opponent.
Hasn't had an opponent in
I think Ron Q was the last time she's ever had an opponent.
8 years?
Yeah, but prior to that, she's never had an opponent.
Yeah, and there's hardly any money raised. Mm-hmm. You don't see hardly any money raised. I went back, like you said, a long time ago, and she started with $7,000 mm-hmm. One election cycle, and all the election cycles, 0, 0, 0, 0. So,
well, what do you think? Nobody really pays any attention to this office?
They're not aware of what the treasurer does.
How much does the treasurer gets paid?
It goes up every year automatically. I think this next year they'll be paid, I think, around $125,000.
Okay.
And they're paid bi-weekly.
When you say that the treasurer hasn't been at work for 2 years, do you know that to be true?
I've talked to many, many people in the office.
Did anybody file a ethics claim or
nothing against
anything
Laura.
with the county manager? Or?
Nothing against Laura. They filed several against the assistant, the one running everything. A lot of complaints have been filed.
What type of complaints? Because apparently that's your
hostile work environment, bullying, not paying Spanish speakers. They're supposed to get paid $100 a month. Yeah, he wants proof that they're actually handling. Translating.
So this is translators for the county courts?
County treasurer.
No, I'm saying that the translators are translators for the
Spanish speaking, right?
For the treasurer's office,
right? Multilingual for the treasurer's office. Okay. They're not getting paid what they're supposed to get paid, and that's in their contract too. But he's not paying them. He wants them to show proof to him that they're handling Spanish speaking customers.
Is the treasurer the ones that pay all the elected officials and
yes, all of everyone that works for the county, right?
So
payroll,
the courts,
right, everyone. I'll have my signature. The treasurer will have the signature on everything. Correct. What you do is when you come in office, they give you blank sheets of paper with a block because it's digital, computerized, and you just sit there, sign in, tell you like your signature. It's in the block. Everything's good. You give them that. They scan it. That's it.
So let me ask you this question about that, because here's one of the things, and it was Ron Q that brought it up to me, and it was like when he was running for the same office, right? He said it was interesting because, just like you said, like your signature is on everything, right?
Right.
But you don't have a whole lot of say.
Correct.
Right? So basically, like, you have to sign, but then if something goes wrong, then you're on the hook. Like, you can go to jail for certain things if they wanted to go that far. So for me, it's like, I think the whole office itself needs revamping. But what kind of authority would you have to be able to do that? Because basically, correct me if I'm wrong, I've been basically told that Clark County Treasurer just stamps the checks and that's it. They really have no control over anything. Like, they don't have administrative control. Is that true or not?
Nobody knows. People I've talked to have the workers I've talked to, current and past, that have up to 15, 20 years. They don't know either. So what I need to do is there's supposed to be a district attorney assigned to the treasurer's office specifically. That's what that person's supposed to be. And I'll go to him.
Like a deputy DA?
Yes. And I'll go to
Do you know who that is right now?
No.
Who's assigned to it?
Because they don't use them. They don't. Even the person I'm running against, he has no clue what his powers are.
Well, wouldn't then? So then, let me ask you this question. Just following up with that, then would you be willing to, once elected, go to the DA's office and say, "Hey, who is my assistant
authority?
DA?
Right.
That's in charge of this stuff, and what's my authority?"
Right.
And then even be able to go to the legislature and say, "Hey, we need to clarify this." Because it just absolutely, before I pick on former or present or future individuals for that job, like, if they don't even know what their job description is, what authority they truly have or don't have, but we need somebody in there to be able to clarify.
They should go to their person in the DA.
They should have, and that's what I'm saying.
Right, I'm going there. And if they give me the runaround,
but I need your commitment that you're going to be able to do that.
I'm going to do that. If they give me the runaround, I've already talked to people in the treasurer's office, and I do have the authority, according to these people that work there, that I can hire my own outside attorney to find out if the DA is going to not cooperate, or give me a runaround.
Okay.
But I do know, because I don't know what statute is, and I've been told this from the workers, the ones that have been there a long year, that $7 billion investment fund, the sole purpose of the treasurer is supposed to have control over that whole fund. They're the ones that are supposed to operate it, control it, everything. So we're understanding that, like I said, that check, I should be able to issue that check to the residents at the end of the year, because that's my full responsibility. I did go see the statutes all the statutes of the treasurer, but it doesn't, like you said, doesn't say what authority I have. But I'm going to get that DA. That's one of my things. Day one, day two, I'm going to, whatever is assigned to me, I'm going to find out that person. And I'm going to tell them, go find out what my maximum authority is and everything. And I want to know. And I want to know the statutes, what I exactly do. Because if something's coming through, like I said, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be watching things coming through from different departments. And something's not right. I'm going to find out what's going on, because I'm not going to be signing checks, or my signature's not going to be on something that's funny. And I don't think I should be paying anything that assists illegal aliens too. I'm not there to pay for illegals for something. If someone's paying that, and I can do it, I can stop payments. I cannot issue payments if I want to.
Yeah.
But I don't know what ramification comes to me. But if I find out I can do that, by darn, I'm going to do that, because we shouldn't be paying certain organizations or certain people to help out illegals. We're not a sanctuary county, and there's nothing in there.
So it just sounds to me like basically there's just been no initiative in that office. Like it's just a vacuum of leadership.
Yeah, there's no leadership.
And so like it's tough to like clarify what roles are. So hopefully, like, if you're willing to do that and get in there, at least I'm one of those people that, like, you can tell me, Steve can tell me the worst news ever, okay? But I would rather have an answer than none at all.
Correct.
And I think that's where I get frustrated with the county recorder's office or the county treasurer's office, is because, like, you'll go around in circles all day long. And they're like, well, I don't know. I'll give you so-and-so. I'll give you so-and-so. No one knows.
No. I understand that. See, because none of the workers know what happened to her. She just, disappeared in thin air.
Yeah.
No one ever told her anything. This guy that runs the office, he thinks he's like the treasurer. He's already going around, I won, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going to have this new system. The new system has to be signed up. Anything happens has to be signed up at the treasurer. So I don't know if and they're rushing this new system. My understanding of talking to people in the office in the past, they're rushing this new system because the new system, all the programming, all the testing shouldn't be done until like around February or March of next year. But they're trying to rush it through in case there's new leadership in the office.
Right.
Why would you do that? Is something funny? Something going on? Why would you rush it? All those mistakes. That's my day one. I'm going to get, like you said, I'm going to get my district attorney, deputy district attorney that's assigned to me. And if I don't like what they're doing, I'm hiring my own, because I want to see what I can do. And if things aren't right, I'm going to make sure. That's why I'm running. The office is a mess. You have leadership in there now. Doesn't know how to work the counter, take a check, process it in the system, because he never learned it.
What do you guys do if there's a bad check?
Bad check, they turn it over. They try the best.
They turn it to what?
They try to contact the owner and let them know and all that, go through that stuff. Then they just turn it over to the DA. Yeah. And they have a lot of programs for veterans, for other people. They don't want to lien sell your home because there's a process you don't pay. They end up, lien selling your home. They don't want to do that.
Do you know what financial institution they use?
They use B of A. They just switched. They've been switching. And I think they're going to be switching again. So that I won't know what they're going to be switching to, because they have. It's so weird. Laura came in and they had someone handling the money outside the investment. She came in, and all of a sudden they switched to this company. And a lot of people think she has interest in that company that handles the $7 billion investment fund.
So you think that is some of the taxpayers' money that goes into the treasurer's office, does any of that go into any kind of investment programs or stocks?
Yeah. It goes in the stocks. No, that's the investment fund, the $7 billion. That's it. And they try to spend all the interest instead of taking the interest and reinvesting in that. They don't. They try to spend all they can. They get a list of different who wants it in the government agencies. Okay. Every month, and they issue it every month, and it's almost all gone.
So all the monies that the county collects, whether it's from the county recorder's office or the assessor's office or the Clark County Bad Check Unit or the courts, all that money goes to the treasurer's office.
Correct.
and then the treasurer pays all the bills.
Right.
Whether if it's property that you pay rent on, or you pay for the lights, or you pay for an employee, the treasurer makes all those payments
requested by the different departments and everything in the government. Right.
So how many checks a month do you think is being written, or how much money do you think is being allocated out of
tens of millions, because the property tax that comes in every day, they got to deposit that and get that as quick as possible, so they don't go on in the red. So everything goes in and out.
What type of system is being used to process all these checks to different entities and different individuals every 2 weeks, maybe?
2 weeks electronic. Almost everyone's paid electronic.
So are you excuse me, are you going to do some type of forensic audit to make sure that if you're elected to the treasurer's office, are you going to do some type of forensic audit so you can know exactly where all these monies are being distributed? Because some of it might be going to Jim Jonas. He probably has some kind of, company that shouldn't be getting any money.
Right.
But yet checks are going his way.
Right.
And maybe there's some people that should be getting paid, or entities that should be getting paid that are not being paid. Maybe there's some type of foreclosure or some type of latent, some type of discrepancy going on there. So are you going to do some type of forensic? I mean, you're talking about money.
Right, lots of money.
What would Bob Bears say, okay?
Hey, where's the money?
We're talking about...
Follow the money.
We're talking about money. Monies could be going to entities that you have no idea what they do, or no idea who they are, or what they're about.
Right.
So are you going to do some type of forensic audit? Maybe use a company from out of state, because the ones that are here are probably in bed with whoever, to find out where every single dollar is going.
Yes, I want to do that because, like I said, each department, like
you
the courts,
want to do that.
Yeah, I want to do that because I want to know. I want to know what's going on. That's why I'm running for treasurer.
As a treasurer,
because they have money.
You have that power to say, "Hey, we're going to do a forensic audit. I don't know what I'm walking into,
right? And
I don't want to be blamed for somebody else's bullshit."
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And this person's been here for 20 years, and God knows what the hell happened.
That's right.
So,
and why do we have 3 systems? Why don't we have a system that communicates to the state and communicates to the different agencies? Yes, we do all their expenditures and income, but why don't we have the state? Why is the assessor? We can't communicate with the assessor at all. They sent us a file. We got uploaded along.
The assessor thing just absolutely floors me how those
that's
two
ridiculous.
Officers.
I'll tell you a story, okay? When this organization was going after the Metropolitan Police Department for the shooting death of Stanley Gibson. And at that specific time, Gillespie was pushing this More Cops bill. And we did our own investigation, okay, to find out why they were pushing this More Cops bill. It wasn't for more cops. It was for different other items like pay raises and different entities, maybe a new squad car, maybe another secretary for Doug.
And to make up for all their overtime.
So we also found out that cops are taking joyrides to Arizona, and all that stuff. But we also found out that the Metro headquarters, where they built the Metro headquarters on Martin Luther King and Alta, that the county was paying a private land developer, a landowner, $1.4 million a month just for the dirt. That doesn't even include the building that the county erected to put the headquarters on. $1.4 million a month. I went up in front of the county commission and suggested, because they were in 2 years in a 30-year lease. 2 years in a 30-year lease, right?
Right.
And I suggested maybe they should just buy the land and be done. and saved the county all kinds of interest rates. Do you know none of those county commissioners knew what the hell I was talking about?
I believe.
Okay. So I brought it to their attention. They know what I was talking about then. And guess what? Guess what they did? They bought the land and saving millions and millions of dollars. But you don't hear VIPI getting any type of recognition for that.
No.
I was the one that brought it to their attention. But what I'm saying is this. You don't know what you're getting into.
No, that's why
we're talking millions of dollars.
Tens of millions.
That are being paid out and that are coming in. So you need to find out
that's right.
where the money is, where it starts and where it stops, what's coming in and what's going out. And the only way you could possibly know that is do a forensic audit. That might even take half of your tenure of 4 years being in office just to find out where all the damn money is going.
Well, when you start like department by department, one at a time, take one at a time.
Because there's no way in hell you're going to know what's coming in, what's going out. You're just a figurehead with your name on checks.
That's right. Nobody does, which isn't right. That's why I'm running. I want to know what's going on. And I know another thing is...
So I have your word.
Yes. You have my word about going to the DA. If the DA won't find my power for me, I'm hiring my own attorney.
Okay. And your word
the Treasury Department is hiring, because I told I could do that.
And your word on the forensic audit.
And I'm going to go department by department, because that's the bet. I don't want to go a whole thing out of... I want to take a little bit at a time. Maybe I'll find out where the most expensive income's coming, the most money, and I'll hit that
first. Who's paying
first.
for all those county cars I see on the road all the time? Who's filling that up with gas? I mean, is there any kind of some type of policy in place that they can't take them home, or
don't know,
or they could go to the Burger King, go to the drive-through?
That's what I want to find
out. I bet you'll find a whole lot of waste.
Oh yes,
a whole lot of waste there.
What I'm told by these guys that work there and have worked there in a long time in the Treasury Department is when usually October rolls around, everybody looks at their budget. Oh my God, we got $300,000, $400,000 left. Overtime. Everyone's going overtime because if they don't use those funds, guess what? They can't ask for either the same or more next year in the budget. That's ridiculous. Because at the end of the year, October comes around and November comes around, I should be able to see how much those people have left and track those and see how much they're spending on overtime. And that's ridiculous. No, let's get that money and take that, invest and give it back to the people.
You know what I like to see? I would like to see how much the county's paying for different insurance companies.
Right.
That's what I like to see. I bet you there's ways there.
And I bet you they're not even negotiating with the post office like Amazon does. They mail out a ton of stuff. Yeah. It's all mailed out. Are they giving a discount rate? The guys I talk to have no idea. They don't think so. Nobody knows what's going on. The person that's in there in charge, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't even know any of the system. Everyone does it. There's this lady that was the assistant for Laura, I think, for 8 years. She's been there 15. She transferred to human resources. Person's in there now. Anything goes on, he takes all the information every day and he meets with her every day. What should I do? What should I do? And he comes back to the office and tells people how to do that. But he doesn't know anything. It's a mess there. It's just a mess. They're just, like you say, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber. No, we pay taxes. That's why I tell a person, you don't even own a home. You're paying sales tax. You're paying gasoline tax. You have a car. You got DMV fees. You're paying money. You should be able to know where the money's going. They're wasting millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. That should be coming back to you at the end of the year.
Okay. Well, one of just to kind of sum it up, and I agree with Steve with the forensic audit and everything. Well, one of the things I have found fascinating, talking to certain individuals about different local offices, is there's not any business that I've ever been a part of or ever really heard of, okay, has a beginning of the day and an end of the day report. And even 24-hour businesses have it. Okay, so the books start at 0 at 1200, and then at $2,400, they end at this and then they start back over, or however, but there's an account of the transactions that take place every single day.
Real time.
So then you already know, like, hey, what happened on this day? So instead of it being a situation where you do get, because the federal fiscal year ends on September 31st. So you have to propose your new budget by October 31st. So that whole month of October is, like you said, like, oh crap, we didn't spend enough money. We're going to get hosed on our budget for the following year. Like, it doesn't even get to that. Like, we don't wait the entire year. We do it day by day. Is that something that maybe, like,
possible?
You could
real time. I want to see real time expenditures and income on the website.
Right. Yeah.
So anybody can come in and look where we're at. We should do it budget year, so they can come and see.
Right, yeah.
And it won't say the property. It'll say property income. Boom. Coming in. Boom. 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 Every day it refreshes every day. It shows it real time every day. I want to do that.
Right.
It should be there for everyone to know where the county is. What's getting expensive? Like you said, gasoline for car 00, whatever. Gasoline for, car for whatever department. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever comes in from those different departments. There's no reason not to. Technology's there nowadays to do that.
All it has to be is a basic. Right. All it has to be is a basic balance sheet.
Right.
Like, you don't have to get super critical, but a basic balance sheet, so you can say, hey, like, you that are in charge of the whole thing, like, you don't have to know every single little detail, but you can look on your desktop and be like, wait, where did this $10,000 yesterday, like, it can't be accounted for? Where the hell is this? Like, you guys need to look into this now instead of waiting 364 days later and having a whole crap moment.
Right. And like Steve said, if it's not within my power, go to the legislature. Do I got to go to the county or state? And that's where the deputy DA that's assigned to us should help me do that.
And how do you separate what's state tax versus county tax? How is that separated? Because I'm thinking about the marijuana money that they're supposed to get. That goes to the state tax, but a lot of the marijuana dispensaries is in Clark County. Do you take a little bit of that, and then the state gets some? And who calculates that? Who does it?
I don't know. It's the people that work there that do things like that. They said they just get a sheet and it tells them what's what, and that's it. They don't ask no questions or nothing.
It's not, man. If I was the treasurer, I'd be asking all kinds of questions.
Well, she's not there, and the person that's running it, he doesn't know. He's just appointed by her. So that's why the whole thing's a huge mess. Yeah. They just do what they're told to do. Like the property tax has everything broke down. You can see that when you get your bill. So that's what they do. They enter all that in. Just like the $7 billion interest. They're told what to enter in at the end of the month. Pay this, all this stuff. Calculate, boom, done. All electronic goes to all the different accounts that the treasurer handles for them. Whatever.
Mr. Tracy.
Yes, sir.
Did we cover everything you'd want covered?
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Let's summarize this.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to get in there.
You're going to get in there. That's the first
I'm going to get in there. That's right. I'm going to go to the DA, find out what my powers are, what I can do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start the audits. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get things taken care of. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get the app rolling. I'm going to get the transparency on the website so people can see where their money's going. That's what I'm going to do.
Whoever controls the money controls the power.
And the treasurer has the money. They're the bank.
That's right.
It's actually, they're holding accounts for every single thing in the county. Mm-hmm. So when something goes through, I don't personally sign it. All I do is get a report. Boom, such and such. Oh, you should do all these checks. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they are, but guess what? I'm going to know what they are.
I would love to see the bottom line on that. I love to see what checks are going out, what checks are coming in. I would just love to have my hands on a report like that.
And I'm a hands-on person, so I'm going to learn the front desk. I'm going to go up there and help someone. I want to know, because you want to know the process, so you don't have someone screwing you that's doing something.
Right.
Oh, I'm paying my neighbor's bill. It's paid.
On the report, it'd be IND Industries, and nobody knows what the hell that is. But $20,000 every month is going to IND Industries.
Yeah, something. That's what the reporter asked me about I call it rebates, profit sharing, whatever you want to call it, check at the end of the year. Well, why do you want to go and handle and go through the voter list for, blah, 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 blah. I said, my name's on that check. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure I'm paying a real person that's a real registered voter or property owner. I'm not going to pay somebody that's made up, and someone's going to sit there and get 10 checks delivered to their house and go cash them all. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he didn't understand that, I don't care.
Because it's not his money.
I know it's not.
Can't you understand that?
Oh, yeah.
It's not his money.
That's what the government people, it's not their money.
When it's your money, the light comes on.
It's the people's money.
If it's somebody else's money, nah.
No, it's the people's money.
It's
the people's money. It's the people's money. It's not the government's money. It's the people's money.
Jim, do you have anything else from Mr.
No, Tracy? I don't. I just thank you. I know we threw a lot of things at you, but it's an important office that people forget. And thank you for your candor.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I know it's tough, but hopefully you will keep your word when you get in there. Like you really gotta fix this to where at least it's very frustrating to me that and this isn't a reflection on you, it's the office, okay? That when you ask somebody what the powers of the Clark County Treasurer's Office are, I have not had one person yet be able to tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because the county's made it so vague. That's absolutely ridiculous to taxpayers, and we're getting screwed. So I appreciate you very much for coming on and taking our tough questions. But when you get elected, and Steve and I are big on this, we'll hold you accountable. We need this fixed.
My door's open to you guys. I'll come back.
All right. So you're going to have an open door policy?
Yes. Okay. Yes. No, I'm there for we the people. I'm there for the people. Okay. My father, World War II Korean vet and stuff, and my family's been here since the Mayflower. We fought in the Revolutionary War and wars past. And, I was brought up, this is the United States of America, land of the free and brave, one nation under God. It's about the people.
Indivisible with liberty
and justice for all. Mm-hmm. And it's about the people, not the government. It's the people's money, and they've forgotten about that. And I've been brought up that way. It's their money, and my word is my bond, because once you lose that bond, your word, that's it. You're gone forever. No one's ever going to respect you or trust you.
All right, Mr. Tracy, our time has expired. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the program. If you look into the camera, Mark's going to zoom in, and you tell folks why they need to go to the voting booth and put Mitchell Tracy in office for Clark County Treasurer, and your point of contact, please.
Thank you very much. It's all about we the people, you the voter. Please do not mail in your ballot. Please go in person. It's very important. Starting October 22nd through November 4th, you can early vote. November 8th is the election. The Treasurer's Office is a mess. You're talking almost $6 billion budget. Do you know where the money's going? That's your money, not theirs. The Treasurer's Office is a complete mess. Nobody knows. Even the current treasurer's not even there for the last 2 years. The assistant treasurer doesn't know what's going on. It's a total mess. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows. But I'm going to go in there. I'm going to find out. I made promises tonight, and I'm making a promise to you. I'm going to represent you, the people. It's nothing about me. I hold myself to nobody but God. And I hold myself to no party. I hold myself to no organization, no person, no PACs, no SIGs. I'm my own person. I'm there for you and only you. I appreciate and I hope I earned your vote tonight. Mitchell T. Tracy for Clark County Treasurer. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Mitchell Tracy.
Thank you.
Jim, thank you so much. Folks, that's Mitchell Tracy, candidate for Clark County Treasurer. Really, really pay attention to these offices that are all the way down on the bottom of the voting block. We really need to pay attention because the treasurer's office is what controls the county's money, whatever comes in and what comes out. And we need to know who's in that office and who's representing us. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Joseph, Veterans in Politics. Until next time.